What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And in this video, I have several different sets of good news from the White House, from President Donald Trump, and from Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin over the second stimulus package and the second stimulus check. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you another clue to what is in this box. If you can guess what is in this box, you could receive money from me. I will give you all the details of that at the end of this video. Also, if you can, hit the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day regarding the second stimulus check, the election, the virus, and related news. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new upcoming videos. Okay, first up, President Donald Trump just gave an interview regarding the second stimulus package, the second stimulus check. Let me take you into that interview so you can hear it for yourself.
Now have the president on the line, the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, welcome to the program. It's great to see you, sir.
Well, thank you. I like Brian. I agree with Brian 100%.
Now, let me talk stimulus. You've offered $1.8 trillion. That's your package. And you said you want to go big. Will you raise your offer above $1.8 trillion?
I would, because, look, this was not caused by our workers and our people. This was caused by China. And China will pay us back in one form or another. And the money's coming back anyway. I would, absolutely I would. Now, I would pay more. I would go higher.
Would you call
Go big or go home. I said it yesterday. Go big or go home. But Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to give anything. She thinks it helps her with the election. And I don't think so. I think it hurts her with the election because everyone knows she's holding it up. We're not holding it up. She's holding it up.
Would you pick up the phone and call Speaker Pelosi with a higher offer?
Sure, I would. But it's, I know my people. I know life. She's got a lot of problems. She's got a lot of mental problems. And it's going to be very hard to do anything with her. She wants to wait till after the election. She thinks it hurts the Republicans. And I don't. I think it hurts them. But and we're doing well. I think we're going to have a fantastic third quarter. The numbers are going to come out right before the election. But it's not fair. You look at the airlines, and we've got a lot of money sitting here that we can do. All we need is a vote. It's not even new money. It's sitting here, billions sitting here waiting to go.
She doesn't
want to do anything. And Steve has not been successful in convincing her to do it. And that's, it's okay.
Can you do a separate stimulus, like just for the airlines or hotels?
Well, I'd like to take the money that's here, and we're looking at that, take the money that we already have and use it in some form and not have to go through the craziness of the radical left, because we're dealing with radical left people. They've lost their minds.
At this point, do you expect to get a stimulus package of any kind before
the
election?
There's a chance. I do, because I think there's a lot of pressure on Pelosi. They have a lot of sane people in the Democrat Party, and I really think that at some point she might very well say, hey, look, I got to do this. They've got a lot of pressure on them. The Republicans are willing to do it. I'd like to see more money because it comes back. It's going to come back anyway.
So
we're going to take it from China. I'll tell you right now. It's coming out of China. They're the ones that caused this problem.
How is it going to work then? How would it work? If they are responsible for it, they've caused it, how will you get money out of them to compensate?
Well, there's a lot of ways, okay? There's a lot of ways, and I'll figure every one of them out. I already have them figured out. We've taken billions and billions of dollars over the last couple of years for China. I gave $28 billion to the farmers because they were targeted by China. Put a lot of money into the Treasury. And China paid for it. They devalued their currency. So they paid. A lot of people like to say, oh, but China didn't pay. Well, China did pay, actually. They devalued their currency, and they pumped more money in.
So first thing, the first very good news that he said there is President Donald Trump is willing to raise his offer past $1.8 trillion. Remember, the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi are at $2.2 trillion. So if the president raises his offer to, say, $2 trillion or more, we could have a deal and get this passed here pretty quickly. Remember, this stimulus package has all sorts of things. It has a $1,200 stimulus check, a $500 or $1,000 stimulus check for dependents this time around, depending on whether the Republicans get their way. in the Republicans' previous bill, they actually raised the check amount for dependents to $1,000. So a family of four, two adults would receive $1,200, $1,200, $2,400, and two children would receive an additional $1,000 each. So an additional $2,000 for the children. So $4,400 for a family of four. The Democrats want tax credits, child tax credits, which for most people would probably equal more than the additional $500 per child. So it depends on the language. I'm going to get to that here in a second. I got some new information about the language and what Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is doing. But from that interview, the first thing is that President Donald Trump says that he's willing to go over $1.8 trillion and closer to what Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats want. The second thing is that he has reiterated this. We've heard this now like 3 times this week, and this is a very big concern, is that if they can get enough votes from the Senate Republicans to pass a bill in the Senate, remember they need at least 13 Senate Republicans and all the Democrats to pass a bill in the Senate. The Democrats can pass a bill on their own in the House. So if they get the Democrats' approval, they'll just pass it on their own in the House, and then they still need 25% of the Republican senators in the Senate to pass it. A lot of the Republican senators are kind of against spending any more than $1 trillion because we actually had a record deficit this year of over $3 trillion. And a lot of Republican senators are just against that. They don't want to spend trillions and trillions of dollars more. And that, that's the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats now at this point. But President Donald Trump says again that the Republicans will go for it if he endorses it. So he thinks that there will be enough Republican senators to vote yes on this. And he also said, I mean, you heard him clear as day. And again, this is just what the president said. He's a Republican. This is obviously his point of view. He thinks Nancy Pelosi is stalling this because of the election, because it'll hurt him, because she thinks it'll hurt him in the election if he can't pass more stimulus in the election, which is now less than 3 weeks away. The other thing he mentioned there in that video is that he said that there's billions of dollars sitting there. We know this, okay? He initially mentioned there was $300 billion sitting there and he wanted to use it for stimulus checks. And then we had Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin mention that there's also two more sets of money, one with $200 billion in the Treasury and one with $130 billion from the Paycheck Protection Program left over. They have 3 buckets of money with anywhere from $130 billion to $300 billion just sitting there. And you heard the president say that they're exploring ways to still try to pass this without Congress. What he said was without the radical left. So basically, they're still exploring ways to try to do this through a presidential executive order. So apparently they're still working on that, or maybe he's looking for a dramatic finish to pass that right before the election. There is still time to pass that now with 18 or 19 more days before the election. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that checks will start going out faster this time around, that people that get their direct deposits could receive their money in as little as 7 days after they pass the stimulus check, whether it's through a presidential executive order or through a stimulus package. So that will only take 7 days. We still have 18 or so days before the election. So there is still time to either do this through a stimulus package or through a presidential executive order and get you the money before the election, which is what the president wants. I mean, getting it before the election, in his eyes, is a whole lot better than after the election, because before the election means he'll get more votes. Also, some really good news. The Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, who is the main negotiator for the Republicans, says that he will give ground in stimulus talks to Nancy Pelosi in addition. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said Thursday that the White House won't let differences over funding targets for virus testing derail stimulus talks with the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi has also identified testing as one of the main sticking points in the talk. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin appeared to cede ground to the speaker in an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, saying, "The issue is getting overblown. We've agreed to $178 billion for health. It's an extraordinary amount of money. We've agreed with the Democrats with $75 billion going to testing and contact tracing." He says, quote, "What we have been focused on is the language around the testing. When I speak to Nancy Pelosi today, I'm going to tell her that we're not going to let the testing issues stand in the way. We'll fundamentally agree with their testing language, subject to some minor issues. This issue is being overblown. That is also really good news because if you've listened to Nancy Pelosi's recent interviews, I did show one or two of them on this channel. Nancy Pelosi is saying that the virus language about how they're going to handle it and a national testing strategy and all these different things about the virus and spending the money, that the language is one of the most important things to her and possibly quite one of the last one or two remaining items left on the schedule. And he's basically saying that they're going to agree to Nancy Pelosi's language. So if they agree to Nancy Pelosi's language and the president comes up on his offer, say to 2 trillion or even 2.2 trillion dollars, they could basically have an agreement here within the next 24 hours. The important part here is that they keep making progress. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is just kind of staying where she is at $2.2 trillion, but at least the Republicans are coming up and attempting to meet her, and they seem pretty desperate to do it before the election. So I think at some point they're basically going to do what Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said. They're basically just going to give her what they want. So it looks like they made by just giving her the exact language that she wants for the virus, the testing, the tracing, the national testing plan, all these things. We're going to have to also see what the president's new offer is, what he comes up with. Is he going to come to 2 trillion? Is he going to come to 2.2 trillion? I mean, if they come to 2.2 trillion dollars and give her the exact language that she wants, they're basically giving her everything that she wants, at least at this point. And then we'll have an agreement, at least on that front, and then we'll have to just get it passed with the Senate Republicans. Also, the dueling town halls of the presidential debate will be on tonight with both President Donald Trump and Joe Biden on at the exact same time. I will be having a mashup, basically a video of the best moments from each one of them coming out for you probably tomorrow morning, early in the morning, maybe 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not up by then, you can just catch it when you wake up. This way, if you don't want to watch hours of both of them talking, you can just watch the highlights on our channel. Also, I want to give you guys the next clue for the What's in the Box challenge. And let me get that clue for you. Okay, clue number 2 for what is in the box is this item has not changed its design in decades. Again, the clue is this item has not changed its design in decades. So, if you can guess what's in this box, you will be one of the people who have guessed correctly. And from there, we will be picking 2 people to receive either $125 from me directly each, so a total of $250 for our 250,000 subscribers we just hit. Thank you very much, by the way. Or you can actually receive my course on how to sell products on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon. We do it as one of our business. We've been very successful. Our course is currently $895 right now. So you have your choice of taking the course for free, getting the course from me, or $125 cash. Your choice. I have more information of my course down below. And also you can watch this video right here if you want more information about how selling on Amazon works and my program. And these videos over here are my newest stimulus check videos. You can click on those to watch those next. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you in the next video.